Well, in actuality, it gets easier and easier and easier, and your body starts, and then you realize, like, whoa, I can do more. Movement is as simple as getting up and walking around the block or walking around your office, walking, to the mailbox and back. It does not matter. Move your body. Actually, a really fun thing to do when you realize, like, if you really want to insult yourself and realize that you are wickedly out of shape, do a 10 squat challenge. So, from the hours of 9 to 5 o'clock, every hour on the hour, you do 10 squats. You'll be so sore. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing, but it's movement. It counts. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Say More Words. I'm so excited that you're here. The song of the day is Get Low by the one, the only, Lil Jon. And here's why. There's a couple stories with this. One, the Super Bowl, it is 2024. It's the end of February, and the Super Bowl halftime show when this podcast was filmed was Usher, Lil Jon, Jermaine Dupri, Ludacris, the whole gang, right? It was absolute fire. And so one, in homage to them, but two, we just had Dancing for the Stars. For if you're not here in DFW, Dancing for the Stars is a charity that we do. They picked local celebrities and dance to raise money for the local nonprofit. I did it last year. I was an alumni this year. We did an alumni dance, the whole shebang. So that was this weekend. And in a very embarrassing act, I got low. I did get low. And then I got stuck. And then I fell over. And then I sat there the rest of the song. Now, to be fair, I had just rolled my ankle, and so said ankle could not allow me to, it allowed me to get low. It did not allow me to get back up. And so I am crediting that I am not weak. I am crediting it to the ankle. So I'm going to try again in a few weeks, and we're going to get our lives together now. So Get Low, song of the day. It is February 27th of 2024 when I'm recording this. And today we are talking about a really important topic to talk about, which is mental health. But it's mental health during this time of the year. So during February, March, January, now this is kind of an unprecedented year. I come from up north and they don't have very much snow up there right now. So it's kind of a weird year weather-wise. But either way, the same things happen during this time of year. And this is where our mental health gets a little touchy. You may know of a seasonal affectionate disorder, which exists. It's a very real thing. They call it SAD, in which, because we're not getting enough sunlight, because the sun is going down early and coming up late, and it's cold and it's dreary right now here in Dallas Fort Worth. It was 90 degrees yesterday. Today was 85 and cloudy, and tomorrow is going to be 55. And the wider range, the bipolarness of the weather and Mother Nature right now does cause some mental health issues. It's very important for you to understand, because there's a lot of people coming to me right now in this space of like, I just don't feel right. Nothing seems to be going right. Everything seems wrong. Like, just kind of in this very crunchy space. And I am here to tell you, one, that it is okay. Two, the most important thing for you to do is to acknowledge that you're feeling that way and that it exists, and it is actually really valid. I moved to Texas 10 years ago. And a couple years into living in Texas, I said to my husband, I don't like spring as much as I used to. And it feels weird. Like, spring used to be my favorite thing. It felt like you were high all the time in spring because of the sun and being out and all of the things. And he looked at me and he's like, well, that's because you were depressed all winter. And spring was more dramatic up north with the weather changes. Interesting. Still happens here today, but not as extreme because our weather is not as extreme. So you may be living in an environment in which the polarities of the weather are extreme. And basically, today's podcast is to get you to understand that our environment actually does really affect our mental health. It changes the way that we see things, the way that we see each other. That's why, spring break exists. One of the main purposes of spring break was for people and families to leave the colder environments and go to a warm and sunny place to re-up their vitamin D, to feel the sun again, and to kind of get over that last hump before spring really kicks off and before summer shows up. Everyone talks about how much they love summer and they love the way that they feel in summer. They work out more, they do all of these things. And it's because, one, we are cyclical people, but we also respond to the weather. We respond to the outdoors. And it's important for you to understand that, because sometimes, our sadness is not our own, and our sadness is being caused by external factors. So what can you do during this time, right? Like, I'm not just going to acknowledge the fact that we're sad and depressed and the weather sucks right now, right? What can we do to better ourselves and better our minds during this time to kind of get through the winter, get through the hibernation period that we are currently in, to get us to summer, spring, whatever is your jam, basically to get us to when the sun is starting to be out more. Now, granted, it is February 27th while I am recording this, and this is the last short day of the year. Starting tomorrow, sunset is at 6 p.m. So blessings on all of our families. We made it. We have made it through the darkest of the dark, and now we move into the light. So a couple of things. One, connection. Connection is key. You need to be connecting with the people that bring you joy and the people that understand you and see you. It is very important to understand and have people in your life that can tell that you aren't doing so good based off of the tone of your voice. The people who understand when you need to be loved and cared for and when you need to be held. Okay? Because we are humans, right? We're just sacks of flesh with high emotions. And it is very important that you have people in your life who ask why you're being quiet, who ask what you need. Connection is key during this time. Fun fact, back in the primal days, obviously they would cuddle for warmth, but cuddling increased during the winter time because connection was so very important for survival. It's connection. I mean, it's key. It's how, as babies, we feel safe, loved, and cared for. Connection still exists as an adult. Connection is still very important when you are an adult. So increase your connection. A lot of people hermit, and then they feel that lack of connection. When it is sunny outside, please do try to spend some time outside. Even if it's freaking cold out wherever you are, try to spend time out in the sun, whatever little or as much as you get, because that vitamin D, fresh vitamin D, the non-supplemental vitamin D, does really good, wonderful, beautiful things for your soul. Why this time is so hard for us too is because a lot of people work 9 to 5, so they're inside when the sun is out. Take breaks. Okay, just like you get up to go to the bathroom, get up and take a sun break. It doesn't have to be hours and hours and minutes, but get up and experience the sun. With your getting up, step number 3 is movement. Move your body. Yes, when it gets cold, and I'm guilty of this too. When it gets cold, I hermit. I'm eating soups, I'm wearing sweatpants, and I'm hidden under a blanket. Okay? I'm not moving. I'm not doing anything because it just feels better to be comfy. But when you move, it releases endorphins inside of your body that help you feel happy and connected and seen and heard. When part of the reason why we get so sad during the winter months is because we just stop moving. Now, granted, I believe that rest is important. The winter is important for our mind, bodies, and souls. It is important to slow down every now and then, but it's not important to stay there. It's not okay to stay there. So take this as your sign to get up and move your body. And it doesn't have to be too much. I have client right now who's doing a 90-day 10 push-up challenge. So just doing 10 push-ups per day. And what's really cool about it is that you think like, oh, just 10 push-ups per day, what is that going to do for you? Well, in actuality, it gets easier and easier and easier, and your body starts, and then you realize like, whoa, I can do more. It is movement is as simple as getting up and walking around the block or walking around your office, walking, to the mailbox and back. It does not matter. Move your body. Actually, a really fun thing to do when you realize, like, if you really want to insult yourself and realize that you are wickedly out of shape, do a 10 squat challenge. So from the hours of 9 to 5 o'clock, every hour on the hour, you do 10 squats. You'll be so sore. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing, but it's movement. It counts. Okay. So those things, connection, reaching out to your people, being in the sun, being, in community, taking your vitamin D, moving your body, those all help during this time period. It's so very important. And I started this podcast with Get Low, and I'm kind of end this podcast with Get Low too, because one of the things, it's so funny with Dancing for the Stars, last year I got to, go through the dance lessons with a professional dancer and learn to dance and do all of the things, and then got to be a spectator this year. I forgot how much dance made me happy. When a song comes on that lights your ass on fire because you remember exactly where you were when that song first came out, and you remember exactly where you were on a dance floor somewhere in a really trashy bar. Maybe it wasn't a trashy bar. For me, it was a really trashy bar in a small college town. Like the endorphins that you get from hearing music that you love and moving your body to music that you love are unmatched. And so maybe one of the things you can do as part of your movement is play songs that just make you feel alive, that make you remember. It's kind of dangerous because it gets us into this place of nostalgia, and nostalgia is really, really good. It's a really good emotion, but it can be kind of detrimental sometimes too. But in this case, I don't believe it's detrimental because it makes you move your body. It makes you be seen, and it brings you back to a time that was simpler almost. And so one of the challenges that I'm going to do in the month of March is do like dancing every single day. And it's going to be to different songs, right? We're going to bring back Get Low. We're going to get back into it. The wobble, y'all, the wobble makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. I will push Granny out of the way to get to the dance floor to wobble. But that movement and dance and all of it, it changes everything in the way that you feel. Pick a song, pick your favorite song from like when you were younger or when you were in college that you love to dance to, and put it on and see if that doesn't change all of your mood. We are almost out of the dark times. The dark where it gets dark early and it stays dark lit. We're almost out of it. And these are just simple tools that you can use to survive the rest of the time. Like I said earlier, Texas, we were 90 yesterday, and now we're about to hit 55. So we have a 40-degree shift coming. And then in that 40-degree shift, I can only anticipate that there's going to be a lot of people who are struggling with it because we just experienced the high, the crispiness, the endorphins, and the dopamine, like from the heat and the sun and all of those things, right? Like we got to experience just the absolute bliss of sitting on a patio drinking a margarita. We got to experience it just the other day. And now it's about to be freezing again. And that's going to affect our minds. It's very important for you. If you take away anything, that sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's the weather. So use any of these things. And if you need connection, call me. If you need a song that's going to light your ass on fire, call me, because I got a whole list. What I want for you is to be in the movement of your body and connection and all of the things you can control, because so many people like to focus on the things they can't control, and they like to bitch about the things they can't control. We're not those people. We are going to work on what we can control, and we can control our connection and, going out in the sun and moving our bodies and listening to music and being in this space. We can control that. We can't control Mother Nature, but we can control us. So Go out, care for you, take the best care of you and how you feel. And I promise you, the dark times are almost over. And I'm so excited to experience the lightness at the end of this tunnel. Our days are only getting longer from here. I believe in you. I care for you. If you need connection, all of my contact information is below. Reach out. I know that this is a hard time, but we're almost there. One really cool thing that I am launching this month as well is called the Inner Circle. And the Inner Circle exists for you to have an outlet for connection, caring, and coaching as well, in a group of people who are also doing the work. You'll be able to find contact information in the show notes, and I would love to have you a part of my Inner Circle. I hope you have the best day. The dark times are over. The days are getting longer, and I'm so excited. If no one's told you yet today, I'm so very proud of you. I'll see you next week.